Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabaditam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Scha Om Jnana Timaranda Shaganajana Shalakaya Shakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bhistam Supurakam Guraganara Sisha Sambhuchitam Chintya Samastaveda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govindabhidam Ujjalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Premno Ibija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandavaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyambunim Sri Siddhantam Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vandetam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Yashishwara Sridharam Vanshikopatarubhyascha Kripasindu Bhyevicha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Antya-lila chapter 7. Lord Chaitanya meets Vallabha Bhatta. Start with verse number 125. Eta chinti prate asi prabhura charane donya kori stuti kori loila charane. Vallabha Bhatta, thinking in this way, Vallabha Bhatta approached Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu the next morning, and in great humility, offering many prayers, he sought shelter and surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord. So, Vallabha Bhatta, thinking in this way, refers to that he began to consider that he was making great mistake in trying to promote himself before Mahaprabhu and the devotees. So then next morning he approached Mahaprabhu in humility and began offering prayers to Mahaprabhu. Ami agya jiva agyo chita karma koilun tomarage murka me panditya prakashilun. Vallabha Bhatta admitted, I am a great fool, and indeed I have acted like a fool by trying to demonstrate my learning to you. Tumi Ishwara Nijo Chita Kripa Jay Korila Apamana Kore Sarva Garva Gandaila. My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have showed mercy to me in a way just befitting your position by insulting me to cut down all my false pride. Amiyagya hitastane mane apamane indrajena krishnera ninda korila agyane. I am an ignorant fool, for I interpret as an insult what is meant for my benefit. In this way I am just like King Indra, who out of ignorance tried to surpass Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Tomara kripa agyane ebe garva anja gela tumieta kripa koila ebe jnana koila. My dear Lord, you have cured the blindness of my false pride by smearing my eyes with the ointment of your mercy. You have bestowed so much mercy upon me that my ignorance is now gone. Aparad koinu kama loinu sharan kripakore mora mate daraha charan. My dear Lord, I have committed offenses. Please excuse me. I seek shelter of you. Please be merciful unto me by placing your lotus feet on my head. Prabhu kohe tumi pandita mahabhagavata duiguna chahantaha nahi garva parvata. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu said, You are both a greatly learned scholar and a great devotee. Wherever there are two such attributes, there cannot be a mountain of false pride. Sridhar Swami Nindi Nija Tika Kor. Sridhar Swami Nindi Nija Tika Kora. Sridhar Swami Nahimana Eta Garbhadara. You have dared criticize Sridhar Swami, and you have begun your own commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, not accepting his authority. This is your false pride. Sridhar Swami Prasade Bhagavat Jani Jagad Guru Sridhar Swami Guru Kori Mani. Sridhar Swami is the spiritual master of the entire world because by his mercy we can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. I therefore accept him as a spiritual master. Sridhar Upare Garve Jai Kichu Likibe Artabhyasta Likana Se Lokena Manibe. Whatever you might write due to false pride, trying to surpass Sridhar Swami would carry a contrary purport. Therefore, no one would pay attention to it. Sridhar Swami has many tikas or commentaries following the Parampara system, but Sridhar Swami's is first. Srimad Bhagavatam has many tikas or commentaries following the Parampara system, but Sridhar Swami's is first. The commentaries of all the other acharyas follow his. The Parampara system does not allow one to deviate from the commentaries of the previous acharyas. By depending upon the previous acharyas, one can write beautiful commentaries. However, one cannot defy the previous acharyas. The false pride that makes one think that he can write better than the previous acharyas will make one's comments faulty. At the present moment, it has become fashionable for everyone to write his own way, but such writing is never accepted by serious devotees. Because of false pride, every scholar and philosopher wants to exhibit his learning by interpreting the Shastras, especially the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, in his own way. This system of commenting in one's own way is fully condemned by Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu. Therefore, he says, Vyarta Vasta Likana Se. Commentaries written according to one's own philosophical way are never accepted. No one will appreciate such commentaries on the revealed scriptures. Sridharer Anugata Ke Jai Kore Likan Sabalok Manya Kore Koribe Grahan. One who comments on Srimad Bhagavatam, following in the footsteps of Sridhar Swami, will be honored and accepted by everyone. Sridharanu Gata Kora Bhagavata Vyakyan Abhimana Charibaja Krishna Bhagavan. Sridharanu Gata Kora Bhagavata Vyakyan Abhimana Charibaja Krishna Bhagavan. Put forth your explanations of Srimad Bhagavatam, following in the footsteps of Sridhar Swami. Giving up your false pride, worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Aparada Chari Kora Krishna Sankirtan. Achirat Pabitabe Krishnera Charan. Abandoning your offenses, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the holy names of the Lord. Then very soon you will achieve shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Bata Kohe Jadi More Hoila Prashana Ekdin Punamora Manani Nimantrana. Vallabha Bhatta Acharya requested Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu, if you are actually pleased with me, please accept my invitation once again. Prabhu avatirna hoila jagatarite manilena nimantrana tare sukadite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who had descended to deliver the entire universe, accepted the invitation of Vallabha Bhatta just to give him happiness. Jagatera hita hauk e Prabhu Raman, Danda kore kore tara hridaya shodan. Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu is always eager to see everyone in the material world happy. Therefore, sometimes he chastises someone just to purify his heart. Swagana Sahita Prabhu Nimantrana Koila Mahaprabhu Taritabe Prashana Hoila. When Vallabha Bhatta invited Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu and his associates, the Lord was very pleased with him. Jaganananda Panditera Shuddha Garabhava Satyabhama Praya Prema Vamya Swabhava. Jaganananda Pandit's pure ecstatic love for Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu was very deep. It can be compared to the love of Satyabhama, who always quarreled with Krishna. Bara bara pranoy kalaha kore prabhu sane anyonye katmati chali duijane. Jagannath Pandit was accustomed to provoking loving quarrels with the Lord. There was always some disagreement between them. Gadadhar Panditera Shuddha Gadabhav Rukmini Devir Jaiche Dakina Swabhav. Gadadhar Pandit's pure ecstatic love for Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu was also very deep. It was like that of Rukmini Devi, who was always especially submissive to Krishna. So Srila Guru Maharaj, he's commented about this. He says, in the pastimes of in Vrindavan, the mood of Srimati Radharani, which is complete with emotion and anger, that is the predominant mood. And that of in passive, in the role of intelligence, which to a certain extent is shown by Chandravali, that is in the second position. But in Mathura Dwarka, it's different. In Mathura Dwarka, the principal queen is Rukmini, and she represents that aspect of intelligence. And Satyabhama, who is more in the mood like of Srimati Radharani, she's in the second position. So in Vrindavan, the highest position is Radharani, and that of, we could say intelligence and passive, being submissive to the Lord, that is shown in the second position. Whereas in Mathura Dwarka, the submission and the intelligence shown by, I'm not trying to say intelligence as above that of, but I'm saying emotion is the higher position in Vrindavan, and submission and intelligence like that is in the second position, and in Mathura and Dwarka, that is in the first position, in the position of the full emotion, that is in the second position. So Gadadhar Pandit's pure ecstatic love for Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu was also very deep. It was like that of Rukmini Devi, who was always especially submissive to Krishna. And she's the principal queen in Mathura Dwarka. Tara pranoy rosha dekite prabhuricha hoy, Aishvarya Jnane Tara rosha nahi upajoy. Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu sometimes desired to see Gadadhar Pandit's affectionate anger, but because of his knowledge of the Lord's opulences, his anger was never invoked. Joking with Rukmini Devi in Dwarka, Krishna once advised her to accept another husband because he was unfit for her. Rukmini, however, unable to understand his joking words, took them very seriously and immediately fell to the ground in fear of separation from him. In the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu, Jagannath Pandit was always in disagreement with the Lord, like Satyabhama, whereas Gadadhar Pandit was always awed by the Lord's opulence and was therefore submissive to the Lord under all circumstances. So that is the key point of submission. Radharani will not be just submissive to Krishna. She will argue with Krishna. But Rukmini, who's in the first position there, she will be submissive. And Satyabhama not. And here the position of Gadadhar Pandit is compared to that of Rukmini. And then as Guru Maharaj also comments, when Gadadhar Pandit was leaving his vow of Kshetra Sannyas and also worship of his Seva to Gopinath in Jagannath Puri. He was a pujari. He was doing the worship of Tata Gopinath. He wanted to go with Mahaprabhu when Mahaprabhu was traveling to Vrindavan, but Mahaprabhu wouldn't accept that and sent him back to Jagannath Puri to maintain his vow of Kshetra Sannyas and his worship of Gopinath. And Srila Guru Maharaj comment, in this way, Gadadhar Pandit, who represents the Shakti and is the representative of Srimati Radharani, but Mahaprabhu is stolen the Bhavakanti of Srimati Radharani's, and therefore Gadadhar Pandit is in a more submissive position because he's dispossessed of that. He appears on the dark moon, whereas Mahaprabhu appears on the full moon. So Srila Sri Maharaj commented when Mahaprabhu sent Gadadhar Pandit back to Jagannath Puri, he said the Queen of Vrindavan, in other words, presence of Srimati Radharani, incarnate presence of that Shakti. The Queen of Vrindavan denied entrance into Vrindavan because Gadadhar Pandit was sent back to Jagannath Puri. He wasn't allowed to go to Jagannath Puri. And although Jagannananda is compared to like Satyabhama, although he didn't travel at that time with Mahaprabhu, but later Jagannananda Pandit insisted, and he went to Vrindavan. Elakyapana Prabhu Koila Roshabas Shuni Panditera Chite Upajila Tras. For this purpose, Mahaprabhu sometimes showed this apparent anger. Hearing of this anger inspired great fear in the heart of Gadadhar Pandit. Purvijena Krishna Jadi Parihasha Koila Shuni Rukminera Mane Trasa Upajila. Previously in Krishna-lila, when Lord Krishna joked with Rukmini, she took his words seriously, and fear awoke within her mind. Vallabha Bhatta hoy Vatsayupasana Balagopal mantre te ho korana sevana. Vallabha Bhatta was accustomed to worshiping the Lord as child Krishna, as Bal Krishna. Therefore, he had been initiated into the Bal Gopal mantra and was thus worshiping the Lord. Panditara Sanitara Manafirigela Kishora Gopalupa Sanya Manadila. In the association of Gadadhar Pandit, his mind was converted, and he dedicated his mind to worshiping Kishore Gopal, Krishna as a young boy. Panditara Tai Chahe Mantra Shikite Panditara Kohe Ek Karma Nahi Ama Hoite. Vallabha Bhatta wanted to be initiated by Gadadhar Pandit, but Gadadhar Pandit refused, saying, the work of acting as a spiritual master is not possible for me. Ami Paratantra Amar Prabhu Gorachandra Tar Agya Bina Ami Na Hoy Swatantra. I am completely dependent. My Lord is Gorachandra, Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu. I cannot do anything independently without his order. Tumi Jay Amar Tai Kora Agaman Tahate Prabhu More Dena Olahan My dear Vallabha Bhatta, your coming to me is not appreciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu. Therefore, he sometimes speaks to chastise me. So, Gadadhar Pandit is fearful. And this is also significant because Vallabha Bhatta, he is believe in the Nimbarka Sampradaya, and he's worshipped as one of the principal acharyas, but it is said here that he approached Gadadhar Pandit and he wanted to change his form of worship from that of Bal Gopal, of child Krishna, to Krishna Kishore, to Krishna in more of the mood of that of Krishna and Vrindavan, of what Gorky, it's more in the mood of Mahaprabhu's line of worship of Radha and Krishna. Imata Bhattara Kateka Dinagela Sheshe Jade Prabhu Tare Suprasana Hoila Nimantranera Dine Pandite Bolaila Swarup Jagadananda Govinde Pataila. So Vallabha Bhatta wants to be initiated by Gadadhar Pandit. Some days passed, and when Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu, finally pleased with Vallabha Bhatta, accepted his invitation, the Lord sent Swarup Damodar, Jagannath Pandit, and Govinda to call for Gadadhar Pandit. Pate Panditere Swarup Kohena Bachan, Parikite Prabhu Tomare Koila Upekan. On the way, Swarup Damodar said to Gadadhar Pandit, Mahaprabhu wanted to test you, therefore he neglected you. Tumikene Ashitari Nadila Olahan, Bita Prai Hoyakahe Korila Sahan. Why did you not retaliate by reproaching him? Why did you fearfully tolerate his criticism? So here, Swarup Damodar is telling Gadadhar Pandit, why were you submissive to Mahaprabhu? He was testing you. Why you did not fear? Why didn't you retaliate by reproaching him? Pandita Kohen Prabhu Swatantra Sarvagya Shiromani Tarasane Hatakore Balonahimani. Gadadhar Pandit said, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu is completely independent. He is the topmost omniscient personality. It would not look well for me to talk to him as if I were his equal. Jeko Hese Sahi Nija Shiridari Apane Koribena Kripa Gunadosha Vichari. I can tolerate whatever he says, bearing it upon my head. He will automatically be merciful to me after considering my faults and attributes. Etabode Panditera Prabhur Stani Aila Rodana Korea Prabhur Charane Padila. After saying this, Gadadhar Pandit went to Mahaprabhu and fell down crying at the lotus feet of the Lord. Ishadha Shia Prabhu Koila Alingan Sabare Shunaya Kohen Madhura Bacham. Smiling slightly, the Lord embraced him and spoke with sweet words so that others would also hear. Amicha Lailun Toma Tumina Chalila Krode Kichuna Kohila Sakala Sahila. I wanted to agitate you. I wanted to disturb you, the Lord said, but you did not become disturbed. Instead, you could not say anything in anger. Instead, you tolerated everything. Amar Bangite Tomar Mana Nachalila Sudrida Shorala Babe Amare Kinila. Your mind was not disturbed by my tricks. Rather, you stayed fixed in your simplicity. In this way, you have purchased me. So here, it mentions Shoro Bhavi. This was a phrase used by Srila Govinda Maharaj very much. He referred to Sharo Vaishnavas, simple Vaishnavas, those who were free of duplicity. But sometimes Sharo also was used in another sense by Govinda Maharaj, meaning that the person is a little bit of naive or not very educated. So it had a positive meaning, Shoro Vaishnav, a simple Vaishnav, and then sometimes it also had another meaning of someone who wasn't very knowledgeable of the ways of the world or properly educated. So, Amara Bangite Tomara Manana Chodila Sudrida Shorobhavi Amara Kinila. Your mind was not disturbed by my tricks, rather you stayed fixed in your simplicity. In this way you have purchased me. Panditera Bhava Mudra Kahana Jai Gadadhar Prananata Nama Hoila Jai. No one can describe the characteristics and ecstatic love of Gadadhar Pandit. Therefore, another name for Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu is Gadadhar Prananath, the life and soul of Gadadhar Pandit. Pandite Prabhura Prasada Kahana Najai Gadaira Goranga Bole Jare Lokegai. No one can say how merciful the Lord is to Gadadhar Pandit, but people know the Lord as Gadaira Goranga, the Lord Goranga of Gadadhar Pandit. Chaitanya Prabhura Lila Ke Bujite Pare Eglilaya Bahe Gangara Shata Shata Dare. No one can understand the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu. They are like the Ganges, for hundreds and thousands of branches flow from even one of his activities. Panditera Sojanya Brahmanyata Gun. Panditera Sojanya Brahmanyata Gun. Drita Prema Mudra Loke Korila Kyapan. Gadadhar Pandit is celebrated all over the world for his gentle behavior, his Brahminical attributes, and his steady love for Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu. Abhimana Pankaduna Bhattere Shodila Se Dwara Arasab Loke Shikaila. The Lord purified Vallabha Bhatta by cleansing him of the mud of false pride. By such activities, the Lord also instructed others. Andare Anugraha Baye Upekara Prai Bayarta Jailoya Se Nashajai. Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu is actually always merciful within his heart, but he was sometimes externally negligent of his devotees. We should not be preoccupied with his external feature, however, for if we do so, we shall be vanquished. Nigura Chaitanya Lila Bhujite Karashakti Se Bhuje Gorachandra Jara Drita Bhakti. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu are very deep. Who can understand them? Only one who has firm, deep devotion to his lotus feet can understand these pastimes. Dinantare Pandit Koila Prabhura Nimantran Prabhutahan Bhikka Koila Loya Nijagan. Another day, Gadadhar Pandit invited Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu to dinner. The Lord took prasadam at his home with his personal associates. Another day, Gadadhar Pandit invited Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu to dinner. The Lord took prasadam at his home with his personal associates. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu acted as a very merciful well-wisher toward Vallabha Bhatta by externally neglecting him in many ways to purify him of his false pride in being a learned scholar. The Lord neglected Gadadhar Pandit for a few days because of his associating with Vallabha Bhatta. Actually, he was not at all displeased with Gadadhar Pandit. Indeed, because Gadadhar Pandit is the personal potency of Lord Chaitanya Mahprabhu, there is no chance of the Lord's being dissatisfied with him. However, a person is too much attracted to externals, cannot understand the deep meaning of these dealings of Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu. If one therefore becomes disrespectful to Gadadhar Pandit, he will surely be vanquished. Tahai Vallabha Bhatta Prabhur Agyaloila Pandita Thai Purva Prartita Sabasiri Hoila. There, Vallabha Bhatta took permission from Lord Chaitanya Mahprabhu, and his desire to be initiated by Gadadhar Pandit was thus fulfilled. Eta kohilun Vallabha Bhattara milan, Jahara Shravane Pai Gora Premadan. I have thus explained the Lord's meeting with Vallabha Bhatta. By hearing of this incident, one can achieve the treasure of love for Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu. Sri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As, Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas, praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadas narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, 7th chapter, describing the meeting of Vallabha Bhatta with Sri Chaitanya Mahprabhu. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shimaru Sudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jaite Bignana Shabista Puran H.I. Gosai Jarmui Taradas Tasabara Padarenu Mora Panchagras Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame Janame More Abhilash H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Antya-lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryash Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narada Modas Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryash Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narada Modas Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai, Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu ki jai, Jayam Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai, Nanda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Navadip Dham ki jai, Shri Mayapur ki jai, Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Koladvip ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai, Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram ki jai, Ganga Devi ki jai, Tulasi Maharani ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj Avir Bhav Mahotsav ki jai. Srila Ashram Maharaj's Divine Appearance Day ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.